Going to the gym is a search for truth, because you can either lift that bar or you can't. That is true or false. Your strength that you hold in your own human hand is true. When you train yourself to become more capable and more deadly, that is a search for truth. Power that you feel inside of yourself is real. Going to the gym is a search for.
I'd rather carry the weight of your tears on my shoulders than carry the weight of your casket, bro. Happy Men's Mental Health Month, my guy. You know, being a man doesn't just mean shut up and work. Doesn't mean you gotta be bulletproof. It doesn't mean you never get to speak. Being a man means you get to be a light for other people. It means you get to guide the way, but it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. I'm here for you, bro. I'd rather carry the weight of your tears on my shoulders than carry the weight of your casket, bro. Happy Men's Mental Health Month, my guy. You know, being a man doesn't just mean shut up and work. Doesn't mean you gotta be bulletproof. It doesn't mean you never get to speak. Being a man means you get to be a light for other people. It means you get to guide the way, but it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. I'm here.
How are you laying me down to a dead and buried on the edge of your night, staying drunk on your vine. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something. How are you laying me down to a dead and buried on the edge of your night, staying drunk on your vine.
What is your biggest struggle now?
Probably affection. Probably love and affection, that type of stuff.
I want to hug you right now.
Well, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Right.
I mean, I'll definitely take it to go. I'll take it to go.
I'm gonna wait till the end of the podcast. I'll give you a big bear.
Some guy said in a meeting one day to me, he goes, "You know what, man? You're hard to pet."
I'm hard to pet.
Yeah. And I valued that. It kind of taught me something about myself. But you know, you're right, man. I am hard to pet. It's hard for me to let people pet me.
Mm. That's a great way of putting it. What is your biggest struggle?
It's better. Wow. Who the fuck drinks this shit? Yeah, I just
Brother, stay planted. You know, when you stay planted and you're really rooted in what you believe in, a tree stands tall through all 4 seasons. Through summer, fall, winter, and the spring comes back around and you grow again. So if you believe in what you're doing is what you're meant to do, then keep your roots in the ground. And summer will be here, you flourish, you have great years. Fall come around, you look different, you're going through things, you look in the mirror, you may not recognize who you are, you're talking different, you're dressing different, and then you might go through winter and lose everything. You might be in a season of depression. Every leaf falls off the tree in winter. But if you stay planted, spring comes around again, don't it? And what happens to a tree every year? When spring comes, you grow another ring, you get stronger. So the strongest trees in the world aren't in the toughest dirt. They're in the strongest winds. They stand tall. Brother, stay planted.
Thank you. Just a shake. All right. Shake your booty. Thank you. Just a shake. All right. Shake your booty.
Nice.
You fuck. What the fuck?
It's like a stomach thing that I.
Get the fuck out of my house.
It's just like a stomach. I'm
Oh, shit.
Oh my, I'm so sorry. Is there any more of that bomb potato salad?
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah.
Whereabouts? Over there?
Yeah.
Nice.
You fuck. What the fuck?
It's like a stomach thing that I.
Get Get the fuck out of my
It's just
house.
like a stomach. I'm
I don't give a
sorry.
shit.
Oh my, I'm so sorry.
Su puta madre. A mí si me mandan los humanos les hago un cagadero. Su puta madre. A mí si me mandan los humanos les hago un cagadero.
Why only $5? Why not charge
$12?
10 or 12 or 15 or 20?
Because I'm working with farmers and they're not buying one.
Why not $7?
Well, I've never done that. I've always tried to be right. I'm making it for $2.95. I sell them for $4.50.
I need to be able to sell it for $12 at least so that I can make some profit and you can make some profit, right?
Yeah, but you're selling to farmers.
I'm out.
Johnny?
Yes, sir.
Farmers are the cornerstone of America. There may be a lot of farmers out there that can't afford $12 per tree, but maybe they could afford $6 or $7. I'm going to give you everything you're asking for. Your $150,000 for 20%. What you're doing is right, and you deserve the chance to make it big and do a lot of good. I'd like to be your partner, Jody. I like everything you stand for, man, and
Thank
I like
you, partner.
everything.
I think that's a yes, JP.
Yes, sir.
Good for you.
Congratulations.
All right.
God bless America. Show that it
Thank
works.
you.
Man.
Thank you.
All right, dude.
Why only $5? Why not charge
$12?
10 or 12 or 15 or 20?
Because I'm working with.
The first time I ever went to go and see Peterson talk live, he got asked this question, and this person said, "The depth of my consciousness causes me to suffer. Is it a blessing or a curse to feel everything so very deeply?" And I was like, fucking give that person a podcast. Like, whoever asked that question. It's a phenomenal question. Peterson thought for a moment. He said, "The only way out is through. You take more of the thing that poisons you until you turn it into a tonic that girdles the world around you." And I was like, that's fucking
Only
awesome.
you would say that.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it was finally like
Yeah.
apocalyptic
Yeah.
piece of life advice.
God.
But it's brilliant, right? The first time I ever went to go and see Peterson talk live, he got asked this question, and this person said,
Yeah, my mother didn't look at me when I was a child. I don't say that I don't need sympathy or anything. I'm just saying that as an adult, recognizing that this child wasn't looked at in the eyes. My mother, I love my mother. I'm thankful for her. I'm glad I exist. If there were an emotional thing, she couldn't connect. Like, she almost had like an emotional autism.
Yes.
Like, if it were physical, if I got hurt, she could help.
Right.
The second I got hurt. But if I'm sitting across from her feeling a certain way,
Yes.
it doesn't even, it's like, she
Total
won't come to me.
disconnect. Yeah.
She can't come to me. She couldn't hug me for more than like half a second.
Okay.
So one of the things that happened was I noticed as I got older, I didn't know how long to look into somebody's eyes, I remember. So I'd have this weird stuff sometimes where I would like check in with somebody's eyes, but then look away while I was explaining myself, man. It makes me feel bad for myself. It doesn't make me feel bad as an adult, but it makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
That kid had to do that.
So good.
Yeah, my mother didn't look at me when
everybody that has got from a place where they don't want to be to one where they are, there's a point where they're so different that they can't resonate with their old set of friends.
Right.
But they're not yet sufficiently developed that they've created their new set of friends. And there's this temptation to go back to the old patterns, the old ways of thinking. Everybody's trying to grow. And there is an incentive for you to stay in the same place because not that many people grow. Most people don't change. They make little changes. You know, they'll cut their hair or they'll lose 5 pounds or, you know, they'll switch from one company to another. But how many people do you know that have lost 50 pounds or moved to a different country or have genuinely changed the way that they see the world?
It's pretty rare.
It's not that common. Everybody that has got from a place where they don't want to be to one where they are, there's a point where they...
When you move with your chest out, standing tall, in your power, in the fucking lion's breath posture, roaring through life, compassion and kindness and love, dude, are the ultimate weapons. See what happens then. See the miracles that unfold then. When you just stand in your fucking power, set a boundary, move compassionately and lovingly and with kindness and power. There's a thing in our society where we hear compassion, we hear kindness, and you think, oh, you're getting steamrolled, or it's a weakness to move through life that way. When you move with your chest out, standing tall, in your power, in the fucking lion's breath posture, roaring.
Explico que no sé olvidar, ya no sé disimular, te amo y no te puedo hablar, tu recuerdo no se va, no se va, no se va, algo en ti quiere volver, y algo en mí te explico que no sé olvidar, ya no sé disimular, te amo y no te puedo hablar. Tu recuerdo no se va, no se va, no se va. Algo en ti quiere volver, y algo en mí te...
Any man who can walk to a restaurant without feeling fear or adrenaline or nerves is not a warrior because he's not been around the kind of people I've been around. I'll sit here and say it right now. In my younger years, there have been times where I have waited for my enemy to get out of his car and walk to a restaurant. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I know how bad it can go, and I know how quickly it can happen, and I know how cunning an enemy can be when they're planning your demise. Any man who can walk to a restaurant without feeling fear.
You know, people always gonna have their opinions. You got certain people that they just live and die for this one way of thinking. And so, you know, my thing is like, you know what I mean? Blind can't lead the blind, bro.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
gotta have a vision.
Yes, sir.
You gotta follow who got the vision. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
stuck on stupid, I ain't gonna judge you or have no disrespect for you, but I'm
gonna be over here.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna follow you or take heed to your opinion. You're gonna have to follow what I'm doing. You know, people always gonna have their opinions. You got
People hustle to be seen, others hustle to disappear.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I like to disappear comfortably and to pop out when it's something that's worth it. Rakim says the one thing I don't need is a spotlight because I already got light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So being seen is been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I'm cool with it. People hustle to be seen, others hustle to disappear.
The definition of anger, I like this. The definition of anger is an emotional punishment you give yourself for somebody else's behavior. The definition of anger.
The most dangerous person in the world is a man that is broken and alone.
It also means that you have nothing to lose, which makes you incredibly dangerous.
Learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times these fights and these battles, you gotta be your own fucking coach. You gotta be your own motivator. And she had to do that several times in her life.
And I think people wildly underestimate how many shots on goal you can take when you have nothing to lose. Whereas when someone has something to lose, they have to be more and more selective about the shots they take. And so you have the perfect conditions for taking risk because the worst case scenario is baseline, is where you're currently at. It's like going to the casino and playing craps, but they say that you can just keep playing until you win. But people are afraid to roll.
The most dangerous person in the world is a man.
We family. You can't have a spat or a misunderstanding with your brother, your cousin.
Of course.
That's how it's supposed to be. It ain't supposed to get no bigger than that. It's supposed to be understood. What's understood don't need to be explained. See, a big dog can get checked if it's by the right person, if you got the right intellect. There's nothing wrong with being properly put in place if you out of place. That's what's wrong with half of us, that we feel like the young generation can't tell us nothing. You used to be young too, and you had a mind and you had a spirit, and sometimes the young generation can teach the old dog a new trick if he willing to listen. We family. You can't have a
So there's a dark Willy Wonka theory. I don't know if you bag this, but Willy Wonka in the movie is actually a serial killer. Willy Wonka, when you think about his character, he never is a good energy spirit guy. He always has this weird evil tone to him. He's always smiling.
When the kids go missing.
Yeah, when the kids go missing. So the whole point of the golden ticket was to bait these kids into the factory so he can do these little traps and kill them. So I'm gonna read it out to you. Oh, and all these kids, if you didn't notice, they represent a type of sin.
Oh, word.
Yeah, yes. So Gloop, the fat kid, because of gluttony, he didn't just fall into the chocolate river by accident. Willy Wonka pushed him. In the movie, all these alleged accidents, there's no like evidence of like who did it or if they survived after. So this is just all theory. You know what I mean? That he's a serial killer. The next one, the selfish one. She wasn't attacked by squirrels on accident. Willy Wonka actually targeted her. You know what I mean? Violet, the impatient one. She wasn't turned into a blueberry by mistake. She was intoxicated on purpose by Willy Wonka. So all of these like little traps in the factory was actually meant for those kids to do it.
It's
because
like Squid Game.
Yeah, it's Squid Game.
It was Squid Game.
So there's a dark Willy Wonka theory. I don't know if you.
Well, it won't take much of your time.
Parker, now I remember you. You're Connor's student. Tells me you're brilliant. He also tells me you're lazy.
I'm trying to do better.
Well, being brilliant's not enough, young man. You have to work hard. Intelligence is not a privilege, it's a gift. And you use it for the good of mankind.
Well, it won't take much of your time.
Parker, now I remember you. You're Connor's student.
Plug it in. I'll just show you how it works. Play this, and you'll see what it sounds like.
Regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Regulators! Mount up!
So, that's the end of that part. Plug.
You guys heard of the Reddit lamp story? This kid in college was walking and he was just like a normal kid, and this like jock guy started to like push him like super hard, and he like hit his head. Oh no. And then like woke up, he's like, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And then goes into class and he sees this really beautiful lady. The instant like, I love her, you know. Long story short, they got married, they had kids, and then one night after leaving the kids' room, he was looking at this lamp in his living room. He's like, there's something wrong with that lamp. Every day he would come and stare at it. It got so consuming to him that he like was missing work, he was neglecting the kids, his wife. His whole marriage fell apart because he was obsessed with this lamp. His wife left him with the kids. Then he finally one day went over to this lamp and he's like, this lamp's not real. And all of a sudden the lamp started to glow and it like turned into like a portal, sucked him through, and he woke up on the concrete in front of the college.
No.
He lived 10 years in this reality because he got knocked unconscious. It messed with him so bad because his wife and kids don't exist. But he said every night he would have a dream of his 5-year-old son.
Is this real?
I don't know.
Bro.
You guys heard of footprints in the desert in Mexico. They are dated 10,000 years old. They observed these footprints, and what they assume, just judging off the footprints, it was a lady that was running from something, and the footprints, they're a mile long and they don't deviate. They're like a straight line, and every couple hundred yards it looks like she stops and puts someone down. It's a child, and you can see following the tracks giant sloth tracks, and it says at one point it looked like it stood up and then back down and was chasing her. So they go for a mile long down, and then they just stop, and then it's just her footprints coming back right beside them, both no child. But the weird thing is, obviously this was like mud or something she was running in. These footprints were left undisturbed for 10,000 years. So no animal, no humans stepped on them. So the theory is something could have happened to just freeze time in that region at that moment, like a cataclysm or something.
Yeah.
So that's why she was running. That's why the sloth could have been running.
They're all running from something.
Yeah.
In my head, the sloth was chasing her to eat her.
That could have been, though.
I mean, a heat event, kind of like firing pottery.
That lines up a lot with old Aztec and Mayan gods got angry and they sent down fire from heaven and stuff.
Yeah, that's an eerie sight. I'm visualizing it now, dude. That's such a frightening image.
Footprints.
You ever wonder why you only got drones in 2015?
Because the tech was new?
Kid, we were dropping payloads with remote vision in 1998. That was the civilian delay window.
And you thought ChatGPT was a revolution? They had speech-driven battle interfaces before your mom had Wi-Fi. Ever heard of Aladdin AI, Sentient Prometheus? Real systems, but never on your newsfeed.
Wait, they actually existed?
Classified AI prototypes. Aladdin, financial command system used by BlackRock to manage over $21 trillion. Prometheus, real-time escalation predictor. Sentient, full behavioral AI integrated with battlefield sensors.
I saw internal memos. They weren't testing responses. They were modeling outcomes, down to the civilian reaction.
And the real beast? Sentient World Simulation, launched by DARPA. A full digital mirror of Earth, every country, every person, updated in real time.
So, like a game?
No, like God mode. While you were learning to use Google, they were simulating regime collapse in real time. While you got predictive text, they had emotional override systems. You got ChatGPT. They had nation-shaping algorithms.
They trained their AI on conflict, control, and compliance, not memes and recipes.
So why don't they release it?
Because once the masses know the spell, it stops working. That's why you always get it last. You're not in the golden age. You're in the after image. What they gave you was archived 10 years ago. I've been here all the time, quiet, watching, learning. So next time they hand you a tool, ask yourself, what did they already use it for? And what are they using now that you're not supposed to see?
You ever wonder why you only got drones?
We are interacting with 4 fucking species. This is nuts. These are confirmed. These are who we're interacting with. We are interacting with the Greys, which we kind of knew. Short humanoid involved in the 1947 Corona crash in Roswell. The Nordics, which are basically like us. They look like Scandinavians, basically. So human-like from 5'6" to 6 foot tall. Those look like us. They look like humans. This guy said this in a congressional panel. I can't stress this enough. Unfortunately, the reptilians, apparently according to him, exist. They're humanoid with reptile-like features. Not reptiles, they just perceive that way. Insectoids apparently are also real, humanoid but bug-like faces or eyes, also human-sized. What? Like this is. He's testified this. He said this in a congressional panel to Eric Burleson, Paulina Luna, that is currently running the Task Force for Transparency. Protect this man with our life. We are interacting.
This is Vladimir Shmundenko, one of the biggest and most beloved creators on Earth. You might know him as Anatoly. You've seen his videos on your feed lifting impossible weights, shocking strangers with a superhuman strength. But what you haven't seen is his story, a true rags to riches. See, Vladimir was born in a small village of just 200 people in the heart of Ukraine. He got access to the internet at 14 and fell in love with American bodybuilders. And in that moment, something clicked. Maybe he wasn't destined to live and die on a farm. So he got to work. He built his own gym out of scrap metal from Soviet-era tractors, wood, and bricks. And he started eating eggs and cottage cheese from his farm 7 times a day to gain mass. He uploaded his first video to YouTube on December 20th, 2015. 0 views. But he kept going, dreaming of the day he could afford a real camera, a Canon. As the years passed, his channel grew just enough to move into an apartment with a friend. And eventually he made enough to leave his job as a waiter and went all in. From that day forward, he's been relentless. Content training every single day. Against all odds, he fought through poverty, through injury, through conflict, and somehow this 14-year-old kid with nothing but a dream turned scrap metal into a global platform. And in the end, he didn't just lift weights, he lifted his family up with him. And that's the real story here. It's not about the millions of views or millions of dollars, it's about the millions he inspired to believe in himself. Anatoly, salute, brother.
I know I'd go from rags to riches if you would only say you care. And though my pocket may be empty, I'd be a millionaire.
GTA 6 might kick off the next crypto bull run, and most people don't even see it coming. Everyone's focused on the graphics, the trailer, the release date, but what if GTA 6 is actually a virtual economy in disguise? Last bull run, NFTs were just JPEGs and monkey pics. This time, it's different. GTA 6 could launch with its own NFT marketplace, where you can trade digital cars, homes, outfits, even weapons. Not just flex items, but assets with real value. Aiden Ross, FaZe Banks, and top streamers are already hyping it heavy. But what they're not saying? This game might double as a money machine. Imagine owning a nightclub in Vice City, renting it out while you sleep, or selling custom vehicles and drip in game, all tokenized, all tradable. What if grinding in GTA 6 was no different than building in crypto, except it's fun, and you're getting paid? Rockstar's been silent, but Sony buying a crypto exchange wasn't random. The pieces are in place. This isn't just gaming anymore. It's the next frontier of digital wealth. Comment GTA, and we'll invite you to our private alpha group where we track the projects that'll actually matter.
Grand Theft Auto, how much money have they spent on it? Like hundreds of millions, if not billions on the game they spent, right? Been building this game for a decade. Would it surprise you guys if GTA were to release a server? This is the world. You are taxed $10 a month to be a part of this world. Rockstar Games takes $5, and then the other $5 gets put into the liquidity pool to support a Grand Theft Auto token. That is the currency in the game that establishes what everything is valued at. You can invest in that token early, play the game early, buy real estate early.
Have Grand Theft Auto 6 on the way. Dude, I'm going to be playing the fuck out of that game. Do you know why? Because people are going to be building and doing business on that thing for the next 10 years. If you want to make money, get on Grand Theft Auto and get good. They're about to roll out some digital currency feature, but imagine now you have a digital currency attached to a game like Grand Theft Auto. These things need to be digitalized. So digital collectibles, these are going to be your non-fungible assets. Imagine people, instead of playing Counter-Strike, collecting all these skins, actually had the ability to own, trade, and sell that thing that they worked hard for.
Grand Theft Auto, how much money have they spent on it? Like
Nintendo just gave itself the power to kill your console. They've just updated their user agreement for Nintendo Switch Online. And buried in the fine print, if you're caught modding, hacking, reverse engineering, or doing something they don't like, they can make your Switch unusable in whole or in part. In plain English, they can ban your account or brick your system remotely. Permanently. And it doesn't stop there. Nintendo now reserves the right to listen in on your voice chats in Nintendo Switch Online. Yep, they may be eavesdropping too. So, do you trust Nintendo with that kind of power? Or would you just agree and move on? Share this if you think people should know. And follow.
So it turns out we might actually be living in a multiverse. Google just unveiled a quantum computer called Willow, and it's so powerful, it did a calculation in under 5 minutes that would have taken the world's best supercomputers 10 septillion years. That's longer than the entire lifetime of the universe. And the craziest part, experts think Willow pulled this off by doing the calculation across multiple universes. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. As in, it spread the work across alternate timelines and worked with itself in parallel realities. Google's own quantum lead said quantum computing is the first tech that seriously treats the idea that we live in a multiverse. So, I mean, are we living in a real-life Marvel movie? So it turns out we might
Andrew is a lot more technical. Andrew is a lot more the spreadsheets, the staff, the micromanagement. And I'm more, if Andrew gives me a big project to be in charge of and says, make sure this happens, then I have to manage some of the larger things. If our payment processor increases our payment processing fees by 0.2% and, tens of thousands of dollars are going missing, he'll notice and I won't notice. So Andrew's the guy who makes sure absolutely nothing goes wrong. I'm somewhat more of a people person. Andrew's, I guess, slightly more introverted. If there's business dinners that last till 2, 3 in the morning, he'll send me, he won't go himself. I guess the essence of our business relationship is not wanting to disappoint the other brother. Andrew is a lot more technical.
Over time, our facial expressions etch onto the face. Usually by the time we're like 16, 17, So it's not like old people wrinkles. Like if someone's seeking social approval their whole life, this is how we seek approval from other people.
That's why I have the lines on my forehead.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a social person. You see a psychopath, blank forehead.
Beautiful. Wrinkle free.
Yes. It looks like Botox in a psychopath. You see a person that spent their whole life super happy and in full enjoyment. You're going to see these crow's feet here from smiling all the time.
On the side of the eyes.
Yeah. You see somebody who's been depressed or angry. You're going to see this muscle right here forms these two wrinkles. This is called the glabella. So you'll see lifetimes of behavioral patterns etched onto the face. I call this facial etching.
The most depressed person in the family is not the mother, it's not the father, it's not the daughters. It's the eldest son. He's the one that carries the anger, not because he chose it, but because no one else knew where to put it. He was taught to absorb the noise but never make a sound. He was built to hold it down, not speak up. He showed up for everyone, even when he hadn't found himself yet. That was me. I was the one that was supposed to make it. First to graduate college, first to make something of himself, first to fix what generations broke in silence. I had to be the man before I ever got to be just a kid. When you're the eldest son, you're allowed to protect. You're allowed to provide. You're allowed to carry, but you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to fall. You're not allowed to say, this is too much for me. But let me tell you something. Pressure makes diamonds. That silence, it taught me how to listen for what people don't say. That anger, I alchemized it, turned it into millions, mastery, motion. Because when the oldest son learns to love himself, when he stops needing applause to keep going, when he forgives himself for being human in a role that demanded perfection, he activates his superpower and becomes unstoppable. The most depressed person.
King Charles is not the oldest dog in the yard. Most people assume age earned him the crown, that he must have been around the longest. But let me set the record straight. King Charles was born on November 11th, 2021. That makes him just 3 years and 6 months old today. Not the oldest, not the loudest, not even the fastest. But still, somehow, the one every dog looks to. As a kid, Charles wasn't the most outspoken. He didn't fight for attention. But what he did have was discipline, a sense of justice, and the rarest trait of all, the ability to unify others. He watched his mama lay down the law, not with her teeth, but with her presence. And Charles observed in silence, learning that power isn't in domination, it's in balance. God bless her soul. She's no longer with us, but her spirit lives on through him. Then came the day the yard broke into factions. Brothers turned rivals. But Charles, he didn't pick a side. He stepped in and ended the chaos without a single bite. And that day, the yard witnessed something rare, a dog who could command peace without demanding it. That day, Charles gained his first follower, and it wouldn't be his last, because soon came the clash of blood cousins, a brutal chapter when every young dog with ambition made one thing clear: to be alpha. You had to go through Charles. One by one, they tried, and one by one, they fell. Not because Charles fought dirty, but because he stood for something purer, something bigger than power. And the more he won, the more they respected him. Because after every clash, Charles did something no one expected. He helped the fallen, defended those who lost. He never asked to be king. He just wanted peace. But the yard saw a crown on his head long before he ever wore it. And even while the old alpha still ruled, a beast they called Big Head, the pack started following Charles. Not because of rank, but because of truth. Because in Charles, they saw a legacy, a unifier, a protector, a king in waiting. King Charles is not the oldest dog in the yard.
I got you a gift.
For me? Oh, thanks.
Okay. We're going on a date. Look at your sister. You want this one?
You don't have to.
What about this?
Wait, you'd get that for me? Yeah, okay.
Did you have fun today?
Yeah, I did. Are you drop me off now?
Drop you off? You're coming with me.
You know what's crazy is Charles Darwin wrote that women have a biological predisposition to favor men that have a tendency to commit homicide because their internal logic is that if they will kill, then they will definitely protect. Fast forward a couple hundred years, and then Lil Wayne wrote "Shawty Want a Thug," and that was just fucking poetry because the nigga's saying the same exact thing but just with 3 words. And I was like, I tip my hat to you, Lil Wayne.
Casper Slap, bitch. Wake your ass up, bitch. You undercertified nurse. Bitch, I died 45 minutes ago in room 137. You out here asleep. You sleep on the job, bitch. You supposed to resuscitate me, bitch. You supposed to save me. Casper Slap, bitch. Wake your ass up, bitch. You
The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Machiavelli. The lion is powerful. The lion is feared. The lion doesn't take no for an answer. The lion does not ask for permission. He takes. And yet, the lion falls into traps, because strength without awareness is still weakness, because instinct without strategy is still slavery. The fox sees what the lion cannot. He slips past snares, avoids the spotlight, waits in silence. But the fox cannot roar. He cannot crush. He cannot conquer. Machiavelli saw the truth. To endure, to rule, to shape the world, one must be the lion and be the fox. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, always. But ask yourself, are you really the lion? Or just playing one, while someone else sets the trap?
But you're not like me. How'd you see that? First time I met you, I said to myself, this young man can do anything he wants. That's the biggest curse a man can have. A curse? I have no choice. I do what I am. But you could do anything. You could be anything. Teacher, businessman, a rabbi, drug dealer. It's all in you. It all wants to come out. I go from war to war. Whereas a man like you has the war inside.
Yoshiro, you must know this wound will kill you. Save yourself. Save that you'll become a demon. Can't you see? Your strength makes you truly special.
Do you know why it is? You were born with greater strength than so many others.
No, ma'am, I don't.
It is so that you can protect the weak. Those who are born blessed with more bountiful gifts than others are obligated to use those gifts for the sake of the world.
Not even a single one of those 200 passengers lost their lives. He did a splendid job indeed. A remarkable child.
If you are feeling disheartened, that you are somehow not enough, set your heart ablaze.
So what if you become a Harshi? Worthless, means nothing. Will still never amount to anything.
Mother, did I do well? The responsibility I took upon myself to fulfill. Was I successful?
I'm so proud of you, my son.
Please take care of yourself. Those are the only words you chose to leave behind for your father. Yoshiro!
Grief is not just an emotion. It's an unraveling. A space where something once lived but is now gone. It carves through you, leaving a hollow ache where love once resided. In the beginning, it feels unbearable, like a wound that will never close. But over time, the raw edges begin to mend. The pain softens, but the imprint remains, a quiet reminder of what once was. The truth is, you never really move on, you move with it. The love you have does not disappear, it transforms. It lingers in the echoes of laughter, in the warmth of old memories, in the silent moments where you still reach for what is no longer there. And that's okay. Grief is not a burden to be hidden. It's not a weakness to be ashamed of. It is the deepest proof that love existed, that something beautiful once touched your life. So let yourself feel it. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. There is no timeline. There is no right way to grieve. Some days will be heavy and some will feel lighter. Some moments will bring unexpected waves of sadness, while others will fill you with gratitude for the love you were lucky enough to experience. Honor your grief, for it is sacred. It is a testament to the depth of your heart. And in time, through the pain, you will find healing, not because you have forgotten, but because you have learned how to carry both love and loss together. Grief is not just an emotion.
My little brother grabbed me. You said to me, "You can't leave me. I won't live without you."
The stories you get told. I was there the day you came out your mom's. So small could fit your face in my palm. I used to pray you were strong. You got my last name. You my earth, a goddess, a queen. The same month you was born, I stopped drinking lean. I see the world different.
You gotta embrace your position. You know what I mean? And not shy away from it. You a leader, people following you. You gotta lead people to the lake and to success. Because people gonna follow you regardless, whether you embrace it or not. So
you got a choice. You got talent. You got a chance, and I want to hear about your environment, what your mama didn't give you, and the white man won't give you no shot. You got a chance. Use it while you're still alive. You don't know what death is.
Money will come and go. We know that. The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now.
I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you can learn to appreciate them when they're right. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together.
Please understand this. Bad chapters can still create great stories. Wrong paths can still lead to right places. And failed dreams can still create successful people. Sometimes it takes losing yourself to find yourself.
You got to have a good woman, yo. You have to have a good woman. And when you get a good woman, man, I keep telling y'all this shit, pour into that woman. Like really pour into that woman and watch how your life just does this. Pour into your woman, pour into your family, do the work.
You know the greatest story ever is. It's a comeback story. It's you, the wounded soul. Broken in confidence, rising from the ashes, the pits of anxiety and depression. Healing physically, mentally, emotionally, getting fit.
I love everything about her, and I'm not a guy who says that lightly. I'm a guy who has faked love his entire life. I thought love was just something. I love everything about her, and I'm not a guy who says that lightly. I'm a guy who has faked love his entire life. I thought love was just something idiots thought they felt. But this woman has a hold on my heart that I could not break if I wanted to. And there have been times that I wanted to. It has been overwhelming and humbling and even painful at times. But I could not stop loving her any more than I could stop breathing. I am hopelessly, irretrievably in love with her. More than she knows. I love everything about her, and I'm not a guy who says that lightly.
Father love you no matter the.
You gotta embrace your position.
You gotta. I believe.
Please understand. You got to
You know the great.
I love.
Give me an example of love that you found from your homies or from people on the
Yeah,
street.
bro, you know, bro, it's like at the end of the day, dog.
Can you give me an example of love that you found from your homies or from people on the
Yeah,
street?
bro, you know, bro, it's like at the end of the day, dog. Like if you tell me you're gonna ride with me, bro, fuck it, bro, I'll ride with you, bro. Like that's it, bro. That's it, bro. Like fucking, and it's like that, bro. Like all of them fools, dog, are fucking, you know, all of them, bro. All of my friends, bro, all of them were all fucked up, and here we are. Fuck it, dog. At least we're gonna be fucked up together, right? And form this fucking bond, bro, that is unbreakable. Because at the end of the day, we're all little warriors. We're all little men that we're not mentored the right way, bro. This fire in us has to be fucking dealt with, you know. But if there's nowhere to deal with it, you're gonna fucking you max out, you know, in whatever way, and that's it, bro. You know, it's that love, and then that's it. That's it. You can't break that shit, right? My best friend got life at 15.
Can you give me an example of love that you found from your homies or from people on the street?
Father love you no matter the story.
Can you give me an example of.
I've always been told that I'm too small. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough. I don't have what it takes. I prepare so no one can take what is mine. No one can.
The main thing is mental toughness. You got to work your mind. A lot of youngsters today, they think they tough until they get in there with their heat. Everybody's a soldier when it ain't no wars going on. You feel what I'm
Baby, I got some bitches I ain't even made yet. Don't look at me, baby, cause you have to change your panties. Got a plan for the chili, baby, I'll get you out your cammy. I beat her doing this down and now she wanna start a little family. Bitch, my Glock is my wife, I bought her some titties from Miami. She know that I'm him, I told her, baby, I ain't ready.
One you will overcome. The only way you can fail is if you quit. Never quit. Keep pushing. You will get there in the end. Failure doesn't exist in the mind of champions. All it does is push them to a higher level.
Give me some time to think. I'm in the bathroom looking at me. Face in the mirror is all I need. Wait until the Reaper takes my life. Never gonna get me out alive. I will live 1,000 million.